What is going on, everybody? We are live. We're back. We are back. Let me adjust this. Glad to have everyone tuning in. Let me get everything situated. How's everybody doing out there on YouTube? It is great to be back. Had a long, productive day today. Thank you for 500 subscribers. We made it. We made it to 500 subscribers. And next up is monetization. So thank you all for following the channel, sharing the videos, liking the videos, leaving comments, leaving orders. Let me make sure people on YouTube can hear me. All right. So, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel. We are here. And today's show is entitled Modern Women Love, Struggle, Love. Why do modern women love, struggle, love? Because I believe in order to fix the issue, we have to understand where it came from. And before we can talk about struggle love, we have to talk about why modern women love struggle love. What happened? Why do they like it? So if you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button on your way in. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know you're there. Let me know you like what you see. Again, the title is Modern Women Love, Struggle, Love. I believe they do, because it's important to realize is that when you deal with relationships, everything is a choice. And I'm going to get into an in-depth analysis of why modern women choose struggle love over blue collar, white collar, stability, good men, good parents, and good fathers. Because it's important. We've got to realize that. And I was just watching a video the other day. Actually, you know what? Let me play it. Let me find that video, because I believe it's important. I believe it's a very quick video, but it's important to show. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. I think this is it. Let me see.
Have a long-lasting relationship and an honest relationship with your partner.
Live like your grandmama and your granddaddy.
I can live like you.
You see how your grandmama and your granddaddy live? Live like them.
You don't get relationships like that no more.
Yes, you do. Because it's in your blood. It's in your blood. Your blood come from them. Them two.
You too.
And me. See what I'm saying? Now you got that fight spirit for me.
I know everybody got a woman that got a fighting spirit from their grandma or their mammy or their meemaw or their big mama. You know them.
If you got him.
I got it. Well, how about you help me find a husband?
Huh?
How about you help me find a husband?
Now, I want you all to pay very close attention to what this older woman has to say, because it's very important that even the relationship pool has gotten bad when you have an older woman saying this. Like, forget about me, forget about everybody on YouTube that's saying it, forget about everybody. Focus on what this older woman is about to say. Because this is a woman that has lived more life than 90% of us on YouTube. This woman is a baby boomer or beyond. She might be a baby boomer or older. I don't know. But listen to what this woman is about to say, because it's going to tie in to everything I'm going to talk about tonight.
I need me a good old one. I need him about 60 years old.
That's all. It doesn't matter. It ain't the oldest. It ain't the youngest. It's the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the oldest, Amber. It's not the good-looking one, Amber. It's not the one got money, Amber. It's the one honest.
Look, did you catch that? She said it's not the riches. It's not this. It's not that. It's the treatment. The treatment. Now she's asking her grandmother, how can I get a husband? Not a boyfriend, a husband.
And not too many of them honest nowadays.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. There's some good men out there. But what it is now, it's the women. It ain't the men.
Uh-oh. The sisterhood is about to have a stroke right now. This is a woman standing up against other women for men. And an older woman at that. Uh-oh.
No more. The women going bad. The women's going bad. It ain't the men's now. It's the women done gone bad.
You gonna flip the script on us?
Yeah. It's the women done gone bad.
You a woman yourself.
I'm a woman myself, but I don't do half the things I see these women do now.
They don't care.
See? That's what I'm saying. You know the dating pool is bad when even our grandparents are speaking out against it. You know it's bad now when you have the elders of the black community stepping up and saying it's bad. This is not the first elderly woman that I've seen speak up against it, and it won't be the last.
Animal.
That's when the men don't respect them. That's why. Let me tell you something, Amber. You got to give a man respect to get respect.
What was that, Granny? What was that, Granny? You got to do what now? You got to give a man respect in order to get respect. But now, wait a minute now. That goes against what I've been taught as a woman. That goes against everything that I was thinking about and talking about and viewing about. That goes, what do you mean that I have to give respect in order to get respect? I thought that if I wanted respect as a woman, being a woman was enough. What are you talking about, Granny?
You understand? You got to give your husband respect to get respect. Because if long as you respect him, it ain't too much he gonna do wrong. It ain't too. The reason
Exactly. And see, this is what I'm trying to say. A lot of modern women, they love struggle love because that's all they know. That's literally all they know. All they know is to fight with a man, to demean a man, to look down on a man, to judge a man based on how much money he has, to go after a man with swag, to go after a man that has money or the illusion of money, because at the end of the day, none of them are married. All of these single modern women that love struggle love. And we're going to get into why. Because again, it's important to know why before we can know how to combat against it. So, black women love struggle love. Question: If you believe black women love struggle love, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe black women love struggle love, put a 1 in the chat. So before we can get into struggle love, we have to get into what is struggle love. So the term struggle love refers to a one-sided relationship. Most often, when one partner is the one who has his or her life together with a job, apartment, her partner, on the other hand, has not accomplished these milestones and may look to you to help him out. So we're talking about the Pookies and the Ray Rays. See, a lot of women, they'll struggle with the Pookies and the Ray Rays. In some cases, you may pay for all the living expenses, pay the rent, pay the car note, pay for the food, pay for the electric. You're paying for everything. You're basically the Pookie and Ray Ray's mom. You'll go to work each morning and he'll sleep. He'll sleep till noon. You may desire marriage, but then he'll give you an excuse and not give you a title. So it's like, you know about struggle love and you've seen struggle love. But see, this is the type of man that most modern women like. These men right here. These are the men that women like. And I remember there was a video that was going around Instagram and TikTok. Let's take a look at the video.
So what?
Wait, hold on.
Not a lot of you. So then you want us, the people, to
wait, wrong video.
Manipulated. You weren't scammed. Y'all just messed around with. Like, I don't understand. A lot of y'all were not manipulated.
Hold on.
Active daddy. I just want to know. Like, and it was like this trend going around on Facebook for women to drop pictures of their deadbeat baby daddies. And so let's just go through a couple of them and see if any of them gave active father. Let's just play a game, okay? So what about this gave active daddy? I just want to know. Like, and a lot of these men have multiple baby mamas. I'm talking 3+. Okay. What about this gave longevity, long-term relationship, marriage, commitment, active dad? What about this photo? Please tell me. Because us normal folks with brains, we can look at this photo and like, yeah, absolutely not. There's no way y'all looked at some of these pictures and some of these men and was like, yeah, he's gonna make a great father, for sure. There's no way. You will not lie to me. You will not lie to me. Absolutely not.
You know, it's funny because...
And see...
weren't scammed. Y'all just messed... Like, I don't understand.
Again, what about these men signify active father? And see, it all boils down to the choices that you make when it comes to dating and relationships. That's the reason why struggle love is so prevalent in our community, because we enjoy the struggle. We enjoy it, or else we wouldn't do it.
A lot of y'all were not manipulated. You weren't scammed. Y'all just messed around with losers unprotected and thought you were going to get an active dad somehow. Like, just look at the type of men you're sleeping with. Look at the quality of men you're sleeping with, and you thought you were going to get an active dad. I don't understand. What of these photos said, come have a baby with me because I'm going to be active father to them? I don't understand.
One girl just got TikTok famous for becoming some random dude in Atlanta's #7 baby mama. This is how she got her fame. This is ridiculous. This culture, this baby mama culture is starting to get out of hand. And for women to say, oh, I had no idea that he was gonna be like that, or he wasn't gonna be a good dad, it's cap. It's ridiculous. It's lies.
Like, I don't understand.
And I want you to pay close attention to what my brother Sigma Gent podcast said. A lot of women will use that same excuse. They'll use that excuse. Oh, I didn't know. I was hoodwinked. I was bamboozled. It was too late. And we'll get into that later on. But continuing on with the next video.
You were scammed. You were lied to. No, you did not do your due diligence. Now, some women do their due diligence. Some women do get manipulated. Some women do get dealt bad cards. But that's not a lot of you. So then you want us, the people, to believe that you were scammed, you were lied to. No, you did not do your due diligence. So in this case, you did set yourself up for single parenthood. Because why would you sleep with a man like that thinking you were going to get an active dad? Why would you assume that? Especially a lot of these men have multiple kids they're not taking care of. What made you think you were the one? This is what we call delusion. And it's time we hold women accountable for it.
Ladies, we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to be accountable. And people like to talk about women being the protectors and the providers within society today, modern society. Listen, how are you protecting your children when you're having them with deadbeats?
I want you to pay close attention, ladies. How are you protecting yourself, your children, your livelihood? How are you protecting yourself when you're having children with losers?
That's not protecting your kids. That's setting your children up for failure. Protecting them, it goes beyond physical protection. Protecting people is also setting them up so that they can have some sort of success in life. If you're going to put them behind the 8 ball before they even get started, how are you protecting your children?
And this is what struggle love is. When you think of people that do the whole struggle love and the whole struggle relationship, we're going to get into why, because it's important to realize that it all started somewhere. It all started from somewhere in something at some time, and we continue to miss the mark. So let's get back into it. Number one, what does it mean to build a relationship together? Building a life means doing things as a couple that you both agree you want to do together. You support each other with individual goals, but it's growing as a couple and keeping an eye on what you want to achieve in the future. And see, a lot of women, they fail at building relationships with people because they're building with the wrong men. They're building with men that look like this. They're building with the hood guys, with the drug dealers. They're building with people that can't even afford more than a McDouble and a small fry and a $1 sweet tea. They're trying to build with someone who has no future. They're trying to build with somebody that has no goals, no ambition. They're on the block. They're living in the hood. They live at home past 30. They're not financially sufficient. They can't hold a job. They live at home with mommy and dad. They can't hold a job. And you expect to believe that a man like this is going to be active father. The struggle life chooses you when you make bad decisions as a woman. Period. You can't get mad at the world for your lousy decisions. Continuing on, the truth is, modern women prefer dating a Pookie and Ray Ray over a blue-collar, white-collar man because they like the adventure, they like the thrills, they like the aggression, they like the assertiveness and a-hole tendencies. Why? Because they're trained to do that from their moms. Their moms failed them as young daughters. When you are a little girl growing up in society, your parent is the main person. Your parent is the main guide in your life. And if you grow up in a single parent household and you see your mother struggling to make ends meet, you see your mother struggling with men, dealing with bad men, dealing with losers, you're going to grow up as a young woman into an adult woman, and you're going to feel as if that is okay. And I'm going to back it up with statistical data, because over here, we deal with statistics. We don't deal with he's saying, she's saying. We deal with real statistical data. So get your pens out, get your pens, pieces of paper out, because here we go. To understand this issue, we have to understand the origin. We have to, because the origin of these things is very important. We have to understand the origin of what happens. Now, this study is from the Center for Law and Social Policy. Are married parents really better for children? What research says about the effects of family structure on a child's well-being. This is from 2003. Now, the reason why I've decided to do this and go back this far is because we're seeing a repeat of history in 2024. And the stats have not changed. In fact, the stats have gotten worse for black women. Now let's look at it. Never married mothers. Childbirth and child rearing outside of marriage have become increasingly prevalent in the U.S. among children living with single mothers. The proportion living with never married mothers increased from 7% to 36% between 1970 and 1996. In 96, 7.1 million children lived with a never married parent. Children, and see, I want you to pay very close attention, because this is reality. This is the world we live in. Children of never married mothers are at risk for experiencing negative outcomes and are among the most likely to live in poverty. I'm going to say that again. Children of never married mothers are at risk of experiencing negative outcomes and are among those most likely to live in poverty. Roughly 69% of children of never married mothers are poor, compared to 45% of children brought up by divorced single mothers. Never married mothers are significantly younger, having lower incomes, have fewer years of education, and are twice as likely to be unemployed as divorced mothers. While the age of the mother has some effect, most of the differences between the two groups remain even when age is taken into account. Regardless of the mother's age at birth, a child born to an unmarried mother is less likely to complete high school than a child whose mother is married. Think about it. How many people do you know did you go to grade school with? How many people? How many people did you go to grade school with? And they said, I'm the first person in my family to graduate high school. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. I'm the first person in my family to do this, to do that. Because this is from 2003, 1996. Me, Shogo Nakashima, exactly. Because we live in a time frame and a time period where, especially in our community, we are disenfranchised, and a lot of us just don't know how. A lot of us don't know how to be a wife. We don't know how to be a husband. We don't know how to have a family. We don't know how to raise our children correctly. We don't know how. And this is why it all starts at home. You want to know why? You know where your trauma comes from? Home. Your upbringing. You want to know where all of your issues as an adult come from? Your home life. See, when you understand where basic issues in life come from, you can understand where you're going, and then you can understand where you're trying to end up. God is in your black shirt. Exactly. And see, that's what we're saying, is that we are living in a time where it is time for us, especially in the black community, to learn that we have to do better. Continuing on, and this is very important. Does family structure or reduced income make the difference? If the negative effects of single parenthood on a child's well-being were primarily due to lack of or loss of income, we would expect children living with two adults to do well as those living with their married biological parents. But guess what? This is not the case. This is not the case. The research shows that children living with two adults, with cohabitating parents or in a step family, do not do as well with children living with married biological parents on a number of variables. It's time. Black women and modern women, they love struggle though, but they don't understand the ramifications of what they are doing. They just don't. We are living in a time where the nuclear family is being destroyed. And just like that older woman said, it's the women that have gone bad. It's not the men, it's the women. Now, income doesn't matter, because if income was the major factor behind the negative association between single parenthood and child outcomes, we would expect children of single parent families who are not poor to have better outcomes than children of poor single parent families. However, watch this, and they're doing it overseas. They did a study, a recent study to Sweden, where the safety net is stronger than in the US, and where the poverty rate among single mothers is very low. Guess what they found? They found problems for children of individual single parent families similar to those found in children of American single parent families. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying. Like, you can't do that. Income doesn't make a difference. Because when you look at the family structure, you have to realize that getting married and having children works out better than just having a child by a bum. And this is what we're saying. Will all poor men get a woman in 2024? Jesus was giving the poor parents. Jesus was giving the poor parents, but at the same time, he didn't keep people poor. But to answer your question, yeah, because you have to define poor. Being poor doesn't just mean money. It could be mentally poor, physically poor, spiritually poor. We look at poor and we think of money. But at the end of the day, there's more to being rich than just a bank account. So, this is the conclusion. And I want you to pay very close attention to the conclusion. Research indicates that on average, the wise men gave Jesus gold. Exactly. And see, the thing about being poor is that we have to understand that money is everywhere. Money is energy. Let me break down money and wealth. Yeah, the wise men gave Jesus gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And here's the thing. In religion and spirituality, you have to understand that money is energy. Money is all around us. Not only that, and I'm not trying to be biblical, but the scripture also says is that ye are God, saith the Lord, and so a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think you're broke and you think you're poor, that's what you're going to end up being like. And even though we are gods having a human experience, spiritually, you have to realize is that gold, frankincense, and myrrh, riches and wealth, they're material wealth, but material wealth can be achieved by changing your mindset and your thinking. Because money is energy. Energy is all around us. So if we look at money and money is energy, energy is all around us. So the only reason why we're broke, the only way to heaven is through Jesus only. Yeah, I agree. Even though I'm not spiritual and I believe in the African religion, the only way to heaven is by Jesus only. But you have to understand that heaven is on earth. Heaven is also on earth. That's why the scripture says on earth as it is in heaven. So that means whatever is in heaven is on earth. Yeah. But going on, I'm going to get to the conclusion of what they're saying. Research indicates that on average, children who grow up in families with both of their biological parents in a low conflict marriage are better off in a number of ways than children who grow up in single, step, or cohabitating parent households, compared to children who are raised by their married parents. Children in other family types are more likely to achieve lower levels of education, to become teen parents, and to experience health, behavior, and mental health problems. And children in single and cohabitating parent families are more likely to be poor. This being said, most children not living with married biological parents grew up without serious problems. In individual situations, marriage may or may not make children better off, depending on whether the marriage is healthy or stable. Marriage may also be a proxy for other parental characteristics that are associated with relationship stability and positive child outcomes. The legal basis and public support. The legal basis and public support involved in the institution of marriage helps to create the most likely conditions for the development of factors that children need most to thrive and have consistent stable, loving attention from two parents who cooperate and who have sufficient resources and support from two extended families, friends, and societies. Marriage is not a guarantee. However, and these conditions exist in other family circumstances, but they are less likely to. So what are they saying? What they're saying is that marriage is the best outcome. Marriage is the best outcome. So the reason why so many modern women like struggle love is because that is really all they know. That's literally all they know. Give me 1 second. And as a moderator, 1 second. All right. So Shogo Nakashima, you're now my first moderator. Congratulations. Anyway, continuing on, because I have a few more videos that I want to get through. So this is the reason why I'm here to tell my story from heaven. Well, I understand that, but we're talking about modern women loving struggle love. All right, so lack of fatherhood and poor choices in men. Single, this is what we're talking about. Single mothers create single mothers. This is due to the poor choices in men that women partake in. Hence, the woman grows up without a father, then looks for the father in the men that she dates. Single women hate to see other women happy with a man. They really do. Like, if you think about it, single mothers, if you look at how single mothers and struggle love, misery loves company. Single mothers don't teach their daughters to be wives, they teach them how to be like them. See, and if you think about it like this, if you sit down and you think about what I'm saying, if you have a mother, you're a little girl, you're a young woman, and you are here, and you grew up without a father, how are you going to know what to avoid in a man? How are you going to know what not to look for in a man? A lot of modern women love struggle love because that's all they know. That's literally all they know how to do. And being a modern woman is being taught by other modern women. So now we have a little younger women growing up to be modern women because they're being raised by modern women. And see, I'm going to play this video and we're going to talk about it because it's very important that we talk about this video because I saw it on TikTok and I wanted to. Now keep in mind,
says I want a drama-free relationship.
This lady is a relationship coach. And this is why I don't believe that everybody needs a mic. This is why I don't believe that everybody should have a platform, because this woman is using her platform to destroy relationships.
Let me tell you, if a guy says to you, I want peace in my relationships, if he says, I want a drama-free relationship, if he says, I just want things to be easy, run for the hills.
Keep in mind, she's a relationship coach.
Run for the hills immediately in that moment. Just turn around and walk away. Because what he's actually saying to you is that he has no emotional capacity. He has no conflict resolution skills. He does not know how to hold space. And when you present your emotions to him, and especially if he in some way contributed to those emotions.
And see, I want to break this down. Now, this lady is assuming that men are weak because people should want a peaceful, non-conflicting relationship. That is normal. It is normal that you fight. It is normal that you have arguments, disagreements, but your whole relationship is not going to be one big argument. Now, what this lady is saying is, oh, if you meet a man who says, I want an easy, less stressful relationship, run. Why would you run from somebody who wants a non-chaotic relationship? And see, this is the reason why so many women are single. Because they love chaos. They love confusion. They love to be in chaotic situations. This is why the Pookie and the Ray Ray win. Because they love chaos. They love confusion. They love not being able to have a decent life and not go one day without an argument. There are people and women out there that think it's weird to not have an argument every day. There are modern women that think it's weird for the couple not to argue. I'm here to tell you it is normal. It is normal to not argue every day. Let's continue.
He will gaslight you. He will blame you for your own emotions.
Notice putting the blame on the man for the woman's emotions A man is not always to blame for a woman's emotions. Sometimes it's the woman. Sometimes it's just the woman not understanding that she doesn't have to struggle anymore. It's like, I always like to use this analogy. If you have a cat and that cat is used to being abused and beat on and thrown around and pushed around and left out in the rain, when you take that cat into a healthy environment, that cat is going to naturally reject that healthy environment until it gets used to that healthy environment. It's the same way with women. If you put a modern woman in a healthy environment, she is going to reject that environment because she is not used to it. What are modern women used to? Chaos and confusion.
He will dismiss it. He will get on the defensive. And then you, as a result, might respond in a way that will allow him to say, oh, look at all this drama. You're crazy. How do I always end up with all these crazy bitches? Okay? Life is not easy. Relationships take work. Yes, they can be easy sometimes. Yes, they can be loving and wonderful, but there are also going to take work. And anything worth having takes work, because if it was easy all the time, it just wouldn't be interesting or fulfilling, quite frankly. So anybody that is saying to you that they want easy, they want drama free, is saying to you that they do not have the capacity to deal with emotions, and you should just run for the hills. Also, interestingly enough, I'm a dating coach, but I'm also a matchmaker, okay? And so I speak to people like 6 times a day about their preferences, their interests, what they're looking for. Never once, and I tell you, never once have I written down from a woman, wants an easy relationship, wants a drama-free relationship. Never once. Never once. Men, just something easy, something drama-free. Okay?
And see, okay, you agree with what she's saying? My thing is this. Men, we do want drama-free relationships. We don't want easy relationships. We want a relationship where we get along with our partner. We don't always have to agree. Our partner knows what they want out of the relationship. We know what we want. But see, the thing about it is that women and men date for different reasons. Men typically date because we're looking for a long-term partner. Today's women usually date because they're just looking for a free meal and fun. And see, you have to upgrade, and I wouldn't say upgrade, I would say advance thinking, is that when men say we want drama free, we don't want the nagging, the bitching, the moaning, the complaining that typically comes with a modern woman. We want a woman that's just going to be a woman. And a lot of modern women, they enjoy struggle love. They enjoy the chaos. They enjoy the confusion. They enjoy bad stuff. So of course, a woman that sees a man say, I want a drama-free life, I don't want chaos, Right, like 80% drama free. We want a drama free relationship. We understand that there's going to be some disagreements, some arguments. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Right. It should be 80% peace, 20% drama. But in the modern woman, and the reason why she chooses struggle love, it's the inverse of that. It's 80% drama, 20% peace. Instead of 20%, instead of 80% peace and 20% drama, or even no drama at all. There doesn't need to be any drama at all. For what? Like, at some point, we have to realize that we're adults. We can talk like adults. We can act like adults. We can communicate like adults. And it's time for us to reject the modern woman thinking. And I want to go back to the slides because, and now here's my semi-favorite part of the show, because I grew up in a small town. For those who don't know, I grew up in a small town in Virginia. Very, very small town. And as I was growing up, I heard all of these talking points growing up as a young man. So all of these talking points I heard growing up because I had friends that became single mothers. I had friends that I knew, that I went to church with, that I went to high school with, that became single mothers, and they all said the same thing. This is what I call it single mother rhetoric, because they all sang it. Now, there's a difference between a single mother and a single woman. If you are a single woman and the father is still in your life, this is not you. You're not a single mother. A single mother is somebody who had a baby with a man, and the man is nowhere to be found, and he's just gone. He's just like he just went to the store for some milk and never came back. That's a single mother. If you're a woman and the child's father is in the child's life, you are not a single mother. You're a single woman. Again, I want to make that very clear before people jump in the comment section and talk about, you hate single mothers. You hate them. Blah. I'm going to do this and you're a misogynist. No, I've made the distinction. Number one, if you give a man the power to feed you, you give a man the power to starve you. Why do all single women say this? Because they gave the power to feed to the wrong guy. Again, let's go back and look at this. Remember, if you give a man the power to feed you, you will give them the power to starve you. These are the men that you give the power to feed.
It was like this trend going around on Facebook for women to drop pictures of their deadbeat baby daddies. And so let's just go through a couple of them and see if any of them gave active father. Let's just play a game, okay? So what about this gave active daddy? I just want to know. Like, and a lot of these men have multiple baby mamas. I'm talking 3+. Okay. What about this gave longevity, long-term relationship, marriage, commitment, active dad? What about this photo? Please tell me. Because us normal folks with brains, we can look at this photo and like, yeah, absolutely not. There's no way y'all looked at some of these pictures and some of these men and was like, yeah, he's gonna make a great father.
And see, again, if you give a man the power to feed you, you give a man the power to starve you. These are the men that you're giving them the power to feed you. As a matter of fact, you're feeding them. They're not feeding you, you're feeding them. And then you get bitter because you got taken advantage of when the whole time, what about them screamed active father? Again, struggle love is a choice, ladies. It ain't about the life, it's about your decisions in dating. Number 2, always have your own, don't depend on a man. Again, let's go back to this video. You're going to see this a lot during this video.
There's no way. You will not lie to me. You will not lie to me. Absolutely not.
You know, it's funny because...
And see, again,
a lot of y'all were not manipulated. You weren't scammed. Y'all just messed around with losers unprotected and thought you were going to get an active dad somehow. Like,
exactly. And see, again, always have your own. Don't depend on a man. The struggle love. But you're depending on a man that's a loser, and you think a loser is going to be an active father, and it's not going to happen. Number 3, you don't need to be doing that for no man. How many of you know a woman's mother who, as soon as she gets up to do anything for her man, her mom jumps in and says, you don't need to be doing that for no man. You always hear it. I've heard it. It's the man's fault. You hear that a lot, even today. I have over 100 videos on my channel, and not one time has a woman taken accountability in any of those videos I put out. Not once. Because the accountability for the struggle of is not placed on where it needs to be placed at. Right now, the men are not at fault. Because when you look at dating and relationships, I'm going to make myself bigger. When you look at dating and relationships, let me break this down, ladies. Men control the access to marriage, to family, to everything that comes along with it. We control the access to that. Women control the access to their bodies, to childbearing. So if you don't give a man access to your body, he's not gonna get it. Period. So that's what we're saying. The struggle love is a choice. And each and every time you make a bad decision, you want to blame the man instead of looking in the mirror and saying, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? Why am I getting the same situation over and over and over and over and over again? Why do I keep attracting Pookies and Ray Ray? Because that's what you love. You love the struggle life. You love the chaos. You love you love it all. And then you want to get on YouTube and TikTok and complain about marrying a Pookie and Ray Ray, having a baby by a Pookie and Ray Ray, loving a Pookie and Ray Ray, but yet you gave him access to your body. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. I didn't know I was young. You hear this a lot. I didn't know I was young. He tricked me and was not who he said he was. I'm a firm believer, and anybody that knows me will tell you I say this a lot. And I'm going to say it again. Believe somebody for who they are when they tell you and show you. Period. That's the reason why I am good with people. I don't go by what I think. I don't go by what I hear. I go by what I see. If women would go by what they see, they would make better dating decisions. Because you are struggling and struggling because you think that, oh, he tricked me. No, he didn't. You just ignored the red flags. And I've talked to enough people to know that that is the common denominator. You were not tricked and you didn't. No. He showed you who he was and you ignored it. Hence the reason why. If you just look and listen, the struggle love would be obsolete. That ties into the last point. By the time I realized it was too late, no, you didn't, because if you realized the first time who he was, you wouldn't be in this mess. A lot of people, they want to blame everybody else, but look in the mirror. It's not everybody else's fault. Just because the world is not going to hold women accountable doesn't mean that people shouldn't be held accountable. And I'm going to play one more video, and this is from a content creator who followed me. I follow her. I watch her content. I got permission from her to use this in the video, in the clip. Shout out to her if she's watching. But let's see what she has to say about single motherhood. And then we're going to wrap it all up.
Whatever, I don't know. And, you know, what's up, you guys? So this is rather a PSA or rant, whatever, I don't know. And in our society, it is much harder for a man to find a woman to be in a relationship with than other way around. A man has to have much more qualities than a woman just to even get attention from a woman in the first place, let alone continue dating and having a relationship. So whenever I see women that complain about being single and not being able to find a good man, I always can tell that they are the problem. They are the culprits. It is very easy to find a quality partner. I've never had issues with that, and this is not a bragging point. This is just a fact that it's easy. Most men are very simple. All they want is to be left alone. So if you are making a man run away or look elsewhere, you are clearly doing something wrong. And most single women that I've met were pretty much undateable. And that includes women in my own family, including my mother, who says that she doesn't need no man, she enjoys being single, but I know that it's a lie, and there's a reason why she's single. But I don't want to be talking trash about my family. I already got in trouble before. And so if you are, you know, not trying to improve yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to find a life partner who would want to take care of you.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Again, going back to the original point that I was making, what about the hood guys scream active father? What about them? Nothing. It's all about picking the correct partner that's going to take care of you. If you're dating a person that can't even take care of themselves, how are you going to deal with that? Struggle love for the modern woman is a choice because you choose who you date, you choose who you procreate with, you choose who you let into your body, you choose it all. So how can you get online and complain about something that you choose? That's and before a person will say, "Oh, the woman gives life," I remember I was talking in my comment section a week ago to this woman, very respectful woman, but we didn't agree for nothing. And she wanted to use the argument of a woman gives life. Women do not give life. Because if it wasn't for the man's seed, the woman's egg wouldn't be able to give life. So that throws out that whole argument right there. Because if you don't have a seed, you nothing happens. Continuing on.
I'm not talking financially, I'm talking about spiritually and emotionally. And if you are fat, have bad hair, poor hygiene, chances are you don't like yourself. And if you don't like yourself, you cannot expect somebody else to like you. And a lot of people just become bitter and lie to themselves that they don't need no man instead of spending time and effort to improve themselves. Because whining and crying and playing victim is much easier than working on yourself and improving yourself. So if you are single and can't ever find a good man, you are probably having some problems that are making you undateable or unpresentable, whatever it is. Just my 2 cents. Work on yourself instead of mingling with other women like you, so you can have your own cry circle and talk about how there are no good men out there. Just my 2 cents.
And see, I fully agree with this woman and what she's saying. And also I agree with Shogun is that we need to stop the foolishness. But here's the thing. There's really no foolishness on the men's side. Like on my last live video, I talked about the incels and the losers and the simps and the lames and the hood guys. But what I'm saying is that, yeah, there was foolishness on both sides years ago, but going forward, let's talk. Let's let an older woman. I'm gonna add this to the stage because I believe I need to play this again. Because this older woman that's probably double the age of everybody watching the stream right now is going to tell you who the issue is. Now, it's bad. And also, if you're new here, you're watching, you're lurking, welcome to the stream. Don't forget, hit that like button on your way in. Don't be afraid to leave a comment, join the discussion. And if you have StreamYard, you can actually join the show and talk about the topic. Modern women love, struggle love. Do they love it? Do they hate it? We'd love to hear from you, but we would let the old folks, there's lack of accountability on both sides. I mean, at the same time, though, you have to understand is that what happens is that when a man gets told Look, bro, you're messing up. You need to fix it. You're messing up. This is what you need to do. The man will say, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna take accountability. I'm gonna do what I need to do. But when a woman, and you see it all the time, when a woman is faced with accountability, look at what I'm. Hold on, let me make myself bigger. What happened with the brick lady? If you want to talk about accountability, let's talk about that for 5 seconds. Women don't take accountability as well as men do because we have someone that had to forcibly turn themselves into police in Houston because she lied on black men, didn't take accountability for nothing, raised 40-something thousand dollars, and it took a black woman by the name of by the name of Queen of Accountability. Shout out to Queen of Accountability. She brought Rhonda Osmond to justice. So, yeah, that can come from any type of man, not just a pookie. If a woman is with a man who has money, a modern man, and he's cheating and she's staying, that's struggle love too. I mean, that could be, but normally that's not the case because you really don't see a lot of women complaining about men with money because they're really not getting a lot of men with money. That's the thing. If you think about it like this, you have 18% of men globally making $100K or more a year. Those are the ones that typically cheat on their wives. So if 18% of men are cheating on their wives, what about the last of us? What about the rest of us that don't even make that much money? Then you have to consider the fact that most modern women don't even want a man that's not making 100, 200, 300, 400, 500K. They don't want to date them. I have thousands of videos, not thousands yet, but hundreds of videos, and women are all saying the same thing. What are you looking for in a man? 100K, 200K, 100K, 200K. Nobody's saying 50. Nobody's saying 60. Nobody's saying 80. Nobody's saying, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. For those of you who don't know, I'm from the DMV, not the Department of Motor Vehicles, but DC, Maryland, and Virginia. If we have anybody watching the stream right now that's from the DMV, shout out to you, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. We're going to look up the average salary for a man in Washington, DC. Let's look it up. And I'm going to put it on the screen right now, because I'm familiar with Washington, D.C. They have a lot of government jobs there. They have the Pentagon, they have the military, they have the federal government. Shout out to federal government workers. But now we're going to look at the median income of somebody in Washington, D.C. I'm going to share my screen. Now, this is the average salary of a man in Washington, D.C. 50K isn't necessarily much after taxes, one family shouldn't, it depends on where they live, and maybe further in the south. Well, this is just all women now. No matter where you live at, they want 100K. So now let's look at this because I'm very familiar with Washington, D.C. The average salary for a man in Washington, D.C. is $58,000. Keep in mind, you have the government, you have the White House, you have the Pentagon, you have the Navy Yard, you have Andrews Air Force Base, you have all types of government places in and around DC. This is the average salary for a man in DC. The average salary for a female in Washington, D.C. is $48,671. Now, let's look at the average salary for a man in California. The average salary for a man in California is $40,585. Now, let's go down south. We're going to use Mississippi. The average salary for a man in Mississippi is $31,570. This is 2020. This is 4 years ago. Let's do 2023 or 2024 rather. So the average annual salary is $47,000, with the 75th percentile is 59, with the top earners in the South as $73,752. So even if a woman wants a man that makes $100K a year, nobody in the South would qualify because the national average or the top earners in Mississippi down south is $73,752. So let's look at let's go to Arizona, because this is how man in Arizona. So the average salary in Arizona, this is ZipRecruiter, is $53,901 a year. And this is in Arizona. Yeah, so it's going to be lower than that for black women and black men. So let's go back, because we're doing this live in person. Black man, let's do in America. So the average income for a black man in America is $79,000. We'll round that up to about $80,000. The 75th percentile is $95,000, and the top earners are $130,000. So the average income of a black American among black U.S. households, 49% earn less than $50,000. So that's what men are saying, is you want a man that makes $100K a year. And you are not going to find a man that makes that much unless they're in the top earners. Unless they're in the top earners, women are not going to find a man that makes that much money. This is the reason why we say struggle love is a choice. It is a choice to struggle because the modern woman, they look for hood and men that don't have money. They have the illusion of money. So now let's do what percentage, we're doing this live, what percentage of Americans make over 100K? What percentage? Because we deal over here. Yeah. 18%. 18%. 18%. I want you to pay very close attention to what we're talking about. 18% make over 100K a year. That's Americans. So modern women look for men with the illusion of money because a man that's making over 100K a year is not going to want to deal with foolishness. They're not going to want to deal with a combative, chaotic woman. So they're not going to want to deal with that. And with only 18% of people in America alone making 100K a year, why are so many modern women gung-ho on $100,000 a year when $100,000 a year isn't even that much money? It's really not. 100K a year is not that much money. So you have the majority of men in America making less than, I'll just say, 50K. A lot of them are going to lose. You're right, because this is the thing: you cannot compete if all of these women worldwide in the United States are going after the same 18% of men. Oh, I'm going to highlight it again. 18% of men. You have every single woman on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. They're all going for the same man. You are not going to get the same man when only 18% of men make 100K and 35% of American households earn more than 100K a year. And only 22% of blacks make over 100K a year. That's what we're saying. You're not going to get what you want. You can want what you can want, but you can only buy what you can afford. And a lot of women don't qualify. In fact, modern women in general don't qualify for the men that they want. So then we move into the whole settling debate. Oh, I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle for a man. See, this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. A lot of women, they want this. They want 18% of men. But then they realize that they can't get it because only 22% of blacks make over 100K a year. So then on top of that, they call that settling. Oh, I have to settle because I'm not getting what I want. Boo-hoo. If you don't settle, you might as well leave the dating market because you're going to have to settle. Let's be realistic. Ladies, you're going to have to settle for a man that makes 50K a year or more, maybe 70. If you're lucky, 80. Get you a nice house in a suburban neighborhood, 3-bedroom house in the suburbs, and call it a day. That whole luxury lifestyle that you want, guess what? 18% of men make that luxury lifestyle. This is the reason why modern women have struggled on, because they would rather give their best years to the Pookie and Ray Ray, chase after 18% of men, when only 22% of African American men make over 100K. So then, okay, you're gonna go overseas. Wrong. Where's my button at? Wait, you really think that you're gonna go overseas and get a man when they see how modern women treat men? They see it. They see how modern women treat men. They're like, no, 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 not in my country. No, 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 not in my house. You keep that in America. We don't want it. So that's what we're saying. So many people, you think that you're going to get what you want. You're not. You can want what you want, but you can only buy what you can afford. And a lot of people can't afford what they want, so they have to settle. They have to settle for a man, and they don't want to settle. That's why women say, I don't want to settle. It's not because they don't want a man. No, they want 18% of men. So they feel like they have to settle to get a man. Yes, you do have to settle. Settle. Get a man or get left. That's it. You either get a man or get left. Because as the modern woman continues to be modern and continues to alienate herself from the dating market, we're going to see a lot more men just say, you know what? I'm done with America. I'm going overseas. You're going to see a lot more of that. Because we aren't asking for much. What men want in a woman, we're not asking for much. We're just asking for kindness, cooperation, non-combativeness, love, honesty, and commitment. That's it. And then the modern woman says, oh, that's too much. Can't do that. So then we have to go where we gotta go. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for commenting, sharing the video, liking the video. We hit 500 subscribers today. I'm happy about that. We hit 500 subscribers today. So we're going to be monetized very soon. So we're going to have a lot of great stuff coming very, very soon. More live shows, a brand new intro, I'm going to keep the same intro for my YouTube video, but I'm going to change the intro on my YouTube channel. Also, you're going to see more bow ties, more suits, more fashion, more of everything. If you like this video, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, tickle that notification bell that will let you know every time I upload content. And until the next live show. Also, before I get out of here, check out my video that I just did. Check that out. It's in my most recent uploads. Check that video out. Check out my shorts. Leave a like, leave a comment. Don't forget, I'm going to be going live, possibly on Sunday night. It depends. I might go live on Sunday night. Check out my community tab if you want more information on that. And until the next video, peace.